Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Dalton at Daltony95 coming to another kind of regular Transformers video, but this is very much different than usual, as you can see from the title and thumbnail. This is going to be the Lego Optimus Prime, and I am so glad to finally have this. I did do a couple little live streams doing partial building of it, and one doing like the first little bit, like the first couple of bags, and the last one just finishing it up. I kind of want to build most of it on my own time, but I decided to finally go ahead and do the last bit on a little stream. But yeah, thought I'd go ahead and do a full-on review of this thing. So as far as accessories go, so we'll start with that. Do get our little plaque here that you get for most Lego creator sets. So you got that, his stats, quote, function, and you get a little energon cube, which is just made out of a few 2x4 plates and some 2x1 bricks and a couple of 2x4 tiles. There we go. You get his ion blaster, which is a mix of brick built and Technic pieces. So got that. Same story here with his axe, which looks a little bit better like that. Just not a huge fan of how that looks. Get a optional, actually, I got this wrong right off the bat. So let's fix that before people yell at me. There we go. There's his buckle. And then you get a bumper tile there, which is a sticker. There are a few stickers on this. One being for this plaque. One for the bumper, the buckle, and the shin details. You also get Sideswipe's backpack, which I'll show all that off here in a minute. And as with most Lego sets, I believe over $20, you get a brick separator, which also works with the Technic axle pieces to go under anti-studs and on studs. So that, and then if you want to just use this as a piece to pry parts away. And of course, you also get a really nicely put together instruction booklet as you'd expect with Lego. There's a bunch of little fun facts sprinkled throughout. It even has a dedicated section for the transformation. So that all looks pretty good. And of course you get the big parts list and whatnot. So yeah, really nice instruction booklet. Came in its own little cardboard container. So let's go ahead and start with a size comparison here. Here he is, and here is MP10, who only comes up to his lower abdomen. This is the biggest Optimus Prime I have. I don't have anything larger. Don't have the new MP44 or any of the third-party ones. I'm not a huge Masterpiece collector. I mostly collect the Masterpiece V-Scores, and that's just bare. So let's go ahead into articulation, but first, really nice details. These Autobot symbols are printed on, as well as the eyes, which are printed on the side of a 1x2 tile. And this Autobot symbol is printed on as well. So articulation, his head is on a ball joint, so you get all the way around. Do get some anti-studs at the back there. Wish they could have cleaned that up, but it made a effective transformation. Do get some side to side, up and down, especially due to the transformation joint. Really nice new piece there for the mouth plate. And you get some of that silver lacquered plastic or grill pieces. Same here on the fuel tanks, but we'll get there. Shoulders are on ratchets, so you get 360 there. Out to there, there is a mod. I'll show that off later, but that's about as far as you get outward. Elbows bend 90 and rotate at the bicep. Wrists are on Technic pins, so they do rotate and they can move down and out of the way. For fingers, you get the thumb, which can move like that. You can even, whoop, if you don't pop it off, You can go for full-on thumbs up. And the hands are on a kind of hinge piece with the way it's built. And I'll get into that more when we look at the mods. Oop, if I stop dropping pieces. Now there is some waist articulation, but with the bumper locked in, it doesn't do anything. So you have to unpeg that. And you get a little bit, but it's more intended for transformation. Hips, again, you're gonna have to undo the hip skirt here. You get all the way up to there and back to there before it starts interfering with the piece here at the back. Get out that far. Nothing as far as bend at the knees, just due to how heavy this figure is. But you do get a thigh swivel and ankle tilt. I guess the toe move up and down, but it's just too loose to work as an actual ankle rocker or pivot, whatever you want to call it. So, getting into functionality with the accessories, you can take his ion blaster here, and I will get into the other one here in a second. Just take a couple of these anti-studs onto those there, and like that. So all the connection is here on the forearm. And you can see, oh, there goes that one piece I was just talking about with the waist movement, or the hips. And I kind of got to have his hips bent one angle back or else he starts leaning forward like he's not going to fall over anytime soon. It just unnerves me a little bit. So I tend to have him leaning back, but that hip skirt's going to be getting in the way. So we'll get to that soon. And as far as the Energon axe, you have to take the hand off. Like I said, it's just on one of those little Technic pins. That just folds down. And in there, I don't know how well, there's an axle receiver there. So you'll just take the axe here. There's a little Technic axle, and that just slides right into there. And now you can have his Energon axe. And it does make his arm a little heavy. These joints are not the strongest. And just flip that back up. Plug it back to there. And come around to the back. It does look a little empty and incomplete, but thanks to Sideswipe's jetpack, you can actually plug these little clips onto those bars there. The knees will just fill in the back spaces of the shoulders. And there you've got him with his jetpack, and the thrusters or the nozzles are on ball joints. So you've got that. And his last accessory, which personally I'm not a huge fan of with how it looks, but at least it's there. You can open up the chest, and there is an approximation of the Matrix. Now, I really do hope Toy Hacks does something to make this look a little more like it, just to go on this rounded tile piece. Just to make it look a little bit better. But yeah, there's the robot mode for Lego Optimus. And now I'll do transformation forward and back before I do the mods. So we'll go ahead and remove the blaster and fold down the handle like that. Coming here, we'll take off the jetpack. Make sure his thighs are straightened out. Rotate these fuel tanks up. Rotate the head 180 degrees, and we'll just bring it back to about there for now. Untab this whole front end here. Oop. If you have any parts coming off, it's easy enough just to pop them back on. So straighten that all out. Then rotate this whole assembly around. Finish rotating the head back. Then from here, take our hands, fold up the thumb to where it's facing up like that. Open up his palms, face up down. Make sure his elbows are bent 90 degrees. So thumb up, fingers out. And from here, we'll just bring these back like that. Rotate the elbows in. Oh, you also want to flip this little section down, become the ladder. And I did something wrong when I was reassembling this. So. Okay, so I guess we start bringing the legs down first. So I'll bend the legs back. Just bring the camera back down. Then the legs will clip together. There are little clips here, little bars on the left leg. There are these little friction grip pads. They're like kind of like a rubberized plastic, so it doesn't slide everywhere. So plug that in and fold down the feet. One of the best Optimus Prime feet concealments I've seen in a while. Like, it's pretty much like your standard Optimus Prime, except cleaner. So from here, like that, bring that back, and then like so, like that. Bring the wrist down, and then kind of curl the fingers around like that. They don't really do much beyond that. Then over here, do the same thing. Bring the arm back. Make sure you got this little ladder piece flipped out from underneath. You can see that. Bring that back. Make sure it's all lined up. Bring the fist down and curl the fingers like that. Then for this front piece, there are these two studs that we plugged it into in robot mode. Actually, no, this is the back end, so never mind. There are these two studs here. You just fold that down, and the bumper will plug onto that, like that. Then you just fold these two front pieces back. Make sure the bumper is straight. Now, as for the weapon, forgot to show this. There are these two little parts, like the hinges for the fingers, right there, that work as studs. So, once you have the legs together, you'll take these two studs here, slide it down into there, and then just pull it back until it pops on. And there's Optimus in truck mode. Now, as far as the jetpack goes, there are these studs here that are still exposed. So if you really wanted to, you can plug the jetpack onto there, and you can have Prime rocketing around like one of those super racing trucks, or like those turbine-powered trucks, kind of like what Energon Rodimus was based on. So you got that. As far as everything else, I mean, I guess you can put the Energon cube right there. The axe can just rest there. I mean, the Energon cube is pretty much all you're going to be able to put there. I mean, you could put the plaque on there, but it's just on one stud. So I did forget to point out that there are those lacquered bricks or slopes for the shin vents, which looks really nice. Of course, you got the translucent tile stud, or rounded 1x1 tiles for the turn signals, the headlights, and then regular clear yellow studs for the fog lights. So, looks really good. He's even got some vent detail up on the top there. Like I said, these little ladder pieces to get up to where the door would be here on the real truck. So yeah, I really love how this Optimus turned out. It was a really fun build as well. Like, if I had a chance to build another one, I would do it right off the bat. I do hope we do get some more stuff like this. But yeah, let's go and get him back into robot mode. So starting with that, take the gun off, or the blaster off, bring the feet back out. And I'm going to lift up this bumper again, just to there. Bring up the robot hands just a little bit. And of course, bring the arms out just a tad before we go ahead and stand him back up. Yes, go ahead and rotate these fuel tanks down. Bring this to here. And split the legs. Bring this back up. And from here, of course, bring the forms all the way out. Fold up these little pieces. And then there are two little studs, I don't know, right in there, that these little bars will plug into, locking the shoulders into place. As far as in that position, you can kind of see right here through the window how that works. Oh, so there, with the window open, it just tabs in. Bring this around, bring up the head to there. Just fix his hands here. And just like that, fold these sections in, bring that down, plug the buckle into those studs, then just bring this out. Fold the... All right, sorry, my camera kind of freaked out there. Anyways, bring this up to here, rotate the head around, and there we've got Prime back in robot mode. Now, give me just a second to look up the name of that person. Okay, now the video was done by Tommy Seabrooks, and I believe he credited the person that came up with the mods on his channel, but I kind of tweaked it to the parts that I have limited to this set. It's a very simple mod. All you gotta do is unplug this bumper piece and take the buckle off of that. Then you'll put the actual vehicle bumper license plate on it, and it now becomes a parts forming piece. Now we'll take that, come around here to the back. Now these parts right here are what get into the way of the articulation. So take this off, then take these wedge pieces off. What I like to do is plug them onto here, just like that, to where there's four anti-studs showing. That'll just plug right onto these two studs here, just like that. And then for the hands, if you want to give them finger articulation and then use another part of that back section, just take our brick separator, pop that 1x3 off, do the same thing on the other hand here, pop the 1x3 off, kind of rotate him around, just make sure he stays together. Now there are 8 studs here, but as you can see, no pun intended, there is a separation here between these 2 studs and these 4. So we'll just take these 2 1x3s, just plug them onto the back there. Same thing on this one. Then we'll just add this 2x4 slope back to his back end, and that cleans that up, while also cleaning up the front end here. Now if you even want to go an extra mile, you can just simply pop the tires off, and now he's a lot more cleaned up, looking a little bit more cartoon accurate. There is a mod for the head, but I do not have the parts to do that. And he also now has separately articulated fingers. So you got that. You can give him the horns, or you can But yeah, I mean, and then there's actually another one where you take these tiles off here and just shift them over a little bit so you can see the difference there. It does show the joint, but you get quite a bit more movement out compared to before. So yeah, I think this is how I will be displaying mine from now on. He's going to be in robot mode most of the time anyways. The truck mode does look cool, but you definitely get this. Well, if you're a Transformers fan, you usually get Transformers for either the robot mode or some form of combined mode. Like, unless it's some sort of highly detailed, super accurate vehicle mode, then I highly doubt you're going to be displaying it in vehicle mode. So I'm just playing like that with the blaster. Now, like I said, I found this mod through Tommy C. Bricks, and he credits the original modder in his video. Why aren't you wanting to stand? There we go. So yeah, like I said, I really enjoyed this build. He looks so much better to me now that this is cleaned up. And this is one of the first Optimus Primes, other than the G1, that doesn't use a fake grill piece to pull off the abs and waist section. Like, this is really nice engineering that Lego has done. And one of the people who worked on this design actually did work with Hasbro on Transformers in the past. So I'm glad to see that he's still kind of, doing that now with Lego. So yeah, like I said, I really enjoyed it. I do hope we get more Lego Transformers stuff in the future, even if it's something as simple as the Matrix, or, I mean, a lot of people I know I've seen want Soundwave, and I gotta agree with that. Even if he comes with like separate versions of the tapes and, their robot modes, if you can't get a transforming robot tape out of that, I'll take them as separate builds. So I don't know about Megatron. It's gonna be hard to do, mostly like with the fact that he can't turn into a gun anymore, especially with how Lego doesn't do that, and they don't do military vehicles, like realistic ones. Like, they could probably do some sort of space tank, but it's hard to say what they're gonna do. I feel like Bumblebee might be a little too curvy, but I don't know. I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens in the future. Even if this is just a one-time thing, it honestly depends on how the set sells. So hopefully it sells well, and Hasbro and Lego do more of these collaborations. Like, this is probably the best collaboration that Hasbro has done with anyone in a very long time. So hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to check out all the links down in the description. Check out my little stream I did. Had a couple people watching live, but I'm not going to go on about that. So hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.